From all reports, it sounds like this trade talk had been in the works at least since the draft. I was wondering when you first learned about it, and then when you found out when it went through, what were you doing and what was your gut reaction?
It was kind of like my old draft reaction, honestly. Just I kind of found out when everyone else found out, to be honest.
And then how do you feel about being a Dallas Cowboy?
I feel great. I like the mojo here. I like the swag. Everybody, it's a lot of new players that I've been meeting all around the long way. So I feel like they got a great thing going for sure.
Appreciate it.
George, Clarence Hill, all DLS Cowboys. Can you talk about your excitement of playing with Dak Prescott? You haven't really played with a lot of top echelon quarterbacks in your career, and you get a chance to play with Dak. And also, what have they told you about your role with CD and how that's going to work?
I'm great. I'm grateful. Like I said, I'm grateful to be here, and I'm grateful to play with Dak. As far as like roles and stuff like that, I'm just here to work. Whatever role finds me best is where I'm gonna find myself.
George, Todd Archer with ESPN. Last season, Coach Tomlin said you need to grow up some. I'm wondering, what are your thoughts on that? And how do you think this can be maybe a restart for you and where you are in your career?
Just taking one day at a time. I feel like everybody in the world, is working on growing on their better end of themselves. And I feel like growth for me is taking a great direction and me coming to the Cowboys.
John Machota, The Athletic. George, you're in obviously the final year of your rookie contract. Do you want to sign an extension before the season starts, or how do you feel about that situation?
I'm kind of where my feet are right now, to be honest. I'm not really thinking about contract talks. I'm just glad to be here at Cowboys right now and, trying to build a winning culture.
Skyler Dixon with the AP. George, welcome to Dallas. Following up on Coach Tomlin and those sorts of things, how much do you feel like you sort of have to rehabilitate the way people look at you or the perception of people and you and some of those sideline things as you try in a new place?
I can't really, change anyone's opinion. Me personally, I just, like I said, continue to grow. I feel like everybody in the world has to grow. You get older and older as you grow. And like I said, I'm just trying to build a winning culture, which they already have at the Cowboys. I'm just glad to be joining.
Appreciate it.
Hey, George, Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. You obviously know something about a winning culture, having come from Georgia, being a national champion in that capacity. And then you became a highlight reel for the Steelers. And obviously there were games won there as well with you guys making the playoffs. Just what can you bring to the Cowboys through your view that can help build that winning culture that you're talking about?
Just working every day. Consistent work is always, the best answer for building any winning culture in any type of sport. So just working every day.
Hey, George, Nick Harris, 4-Star Telegram. Welcome to Dallas. From your time in Pittsburgh, obviously a lot of ups, a lot of downs. What would you say led to the split from your perspective?
Business, this game is just as much as a business as it is football. So it's kind of like out of my control. I'm just, like I said, I'm glad to be here at Dallas and able to continue to win the culture that they have.
Yeah, what do you have learned from Dallas in the last 48 hours do you think could allow you to have a productive time here?
Just everything about the whole building, all the staff members here, all the coaches here, all the players here. Everyone's different. So just learning them is one of the biggest things that I'm trying to do right now.
Hey, George, Todd Youssef, The Athletic. Just curious, going back to your draft process, how much conversation did you have with the Cowboys leading up to the 2022 draft? And if so, what were those conversations like?
I didn't talk much with them, to be honest. But, the draft is a little bit different than the situation that I'm in now. And like I said once before, just glad to be here, as a Cowboy.
Gotcha. And with CD Lamb, what do you expect that dynamic with you and him to be in terms of what he allows you to do with the coverage that he attracts, and also what you can allow him to do in terms of moving in the slot and outside and everywhere else?
Super dynamic. CD is a super dynamic receiver, super dynamic person, player. I just feel like schematically you can't, you won't be able to double everybody. So that'd be a great thing for me and him.
Hey, George, Joe Hoyt, DLS Sports. Who have you talked to with the Cowboys so far? Have you had conversations with Ryan Schottenheimer or Jerry Jones, and what were those conversations like?
I haven't talked to Jerry yet. Talked to some of the coaches, a few of the players. And like I said, just building a winning culture. That's mostly what the conversations were about, just building a winning culture.
And George, you were kind of rumored to potentially be a potential trade target for a while in Pittsburgh. Did you ever request a trade, or was that just something that filtered out on its own?
Yeah, I think it just filtered out on its own. Like I said, I kind of figured out when everyone else figured out. Just super proud and super glad to be here where I'm at now.
Hey, George, Tommy Arsh, DallasCowboys.com. When you look back on your 3 years in Pittsburgh, is there maybe anything in retrospect that you would have done differently or handled differently, whether it be on or off the field?
I can't really say that. I'm more of like where I'm at right now, where my feet at. So can't even really think about it in the past. I'm just glad to be a Cowboy.
We're going to go to James Slater with NFL Network.
Hey, George, James Slater with the NFL Network. A lot of people, when they heard about this trade, obviously pointed out your desire to have the ball, the need to have an impact on the game, and maybe some of the emotions that come with it when, say, the ball doesn't come your way. With a guy like CeeDee Lamb in Dallas, one, what is your thoughts on that outside perception? But B, how do you weigh the balance of a guy like CeeDee Lamb in this offense and then also getting the ball to you? Like, how have you kind of worked through that right now? Does it excite you?
Oh, yeah, it excites me a lot. Because in the game of football, we can work off each other. There's no, he gets the ball, I get the ball. We're working off each other. That's why I always come back to, building a winning culture. And that's kind of what we've been talking about in Dallas.
What did CD reach out to you? Who was the first Cowboy you heard from?
I've been knowing CD for a while before kind of all of this occurred. But the first person I talked to was my agent, of course.
Was CD in your ear in the offseason talking about this possibility of you coming to Dallas? How much did he have a say in it?
Nah, he didn't. We weren't talking until it happened. So he didn't really he didn't sway me or anything like that. It's kind of, business is business.
No, we're going to go back to Todd Archer.
George, have you heard from Dak, and what excites you most about working with Dak and what he's been able to do with guys like CD and Amari Cooper over the years?
Yeah, that was one of the first guys that I definitely contacted with was Dak. He just, just watching his game over the years, he's a very prolific QB and smart QB at that. So I'm just glad to be working with him.
And when will you be here full time, I guess? Do you start immediately in the off-season program? Do you wait a little bit for minicamp? When do you anticipate kind of getting going with this team?
Just as quickly as I can find a place to live, you know what I mean, get a vehicle and stuff like that.
All right, back to Skylar Dixon.
George, back on the CD thing, there was so much talk in the offseason about a number 2 for CD. I just wondered how somebody like you do you view it as a 1 and a 2 or a 1 and a 1A, or do we on the outside make too much of that label of 1 and 2 or whatever?
I'll probably most definitely say on the outside. You guys make it a 1A, 1B, and all of this. Honestly, that's the first time I've heard any of that stuff. I feel like 2 receivers are kind of normal. When I used to watch football, there was always a good receiver, and then there was always another good receiver on the side of him. So I just feel like we're going to work off each other very well.
And then we'll go to Garrett Podell.
Hey, George, welcome to Dallas. You have one of the highest yards per catch averages in the entire NFL the last few years. Kind of what goes into that, and could you describe the style of play and the on-field player the Cowboys are getting?
Just trying to catch every pass. I kind of embrace myself and hone in on that when I'm on the field. So whether that's a slant, last couple of years has been go ball, so that's why I led the category in that. But just definitely trying to catch every pass.
All right, Nick Harris.
Hey, George, you talked about how you've had early conversations with the coaching staff about contributing to a winning culture. What would you say you can contribute to that, and who are you as a teammate?
Definitely bringing a lot of guys along that, me winning the championship at Georgia, I definitely know how to win. And like one of the reporters said, making the playoffs with the Steelers, I'm definitely knowing the formula to make it to the next level. So just bringing what I know already with what these guys know already. You know what I mean? So just getting to know them a little bit more.
And do you know what number you're wearing yet?
I'm not sure. Hopefully that's just like you guys know, I will find out as well.
And then we're going to finish up this call with Tommy Yarish.
Hey, George, you mentioned that you and CD kind of go back a ways. When did that relationship start? How'd you meet? Did he host you on any recruiting visits or anything like that? And then what's your relationship been like since?
Just training. No like recruiting visits or anything like that, but all of us receivers, kind of have certain trainers, and some of us have the same trainers. So definitely training together previously.